And then I just want to say one last thing. Well, I don't know if it's the last thing, but that I think is also serious. I think that for James Charles, for him to be as sexual, a lot of times when children have been violated sexually, they tend to act out sexually. They tend to be very overt with their sexuality. They tend to be very promiscuous. And and I want to be very respectful about this, but I think that something happened to him when he was very young. And what we're learning about children who have been molested, they grow up associating sex with love. You have to really think about that. Like, that's why sex needs to be something that, I mean, of course you want to talk about it, but there are some things that a kid needs to grow in themselves to learn how to love their parents in a way that isn't sexual, to love their friends in a way that isn't sexual, so they can tell the difference. When they are taught at a young age that love is sexual, that's the only way they instinctually know how to show love, to show affection. That's why it's so devastating when children, hopefully what I'm saying makes some sense, and you'll know and understand where it is I'm coming from. I really am coming from a place where I really care. And hopefully James will get the help that he needs, because he does need help. And I just keep in mind, YouTube is a cesspool. It's not the best place for kids to be. So I'm going to try this. This is the color Believer. Not to mention, James is giving gay men a terrible name, thinking that gay guys are just after straight guys, and they're just gonna harass them on DMs and say, oh no, you really are gay, you're not straight. Very upsetting to do that, to put that where they already have enough crap to deal with, then you have to add that to it. Jeez, what are you thinking? It's time for you to stop thinking selfishly. It's time for you to start thinking about the consequences of your actions. That's part of growing up, is thinking about the consequences of your actions. Let me use, it looks like that. I can't see the color. It's time for you to take responsibility for your actions. That is part of, like I said, that is part of what's growing up. And unfortunately, being famous like this, people are going to clean up your messes for you. That's the worst thing that they could do, because you learn from your mistakes, and you need to learn from your mistakes. You need to appreciate how dangerous this is, and how devastating this is. That poor kid that was in the men's room that apparently you had assaulted is traumatized to this day. I mean, you just think about, oh, you're just going to have fun and you're just going to play around with this guy. You don't understand, and just like you, I'm sure you know that you carry those things. Some things you carry with you forever. That one thing that happened really quickly that you didn't think much of is something that has affected that other person forever. And they're no longer the same person that they once were. And when you do that, you take their innocence. You take the chance of what they could be. You murder the person that they could have become. That's how serious it is. That's how confusing it is. Perhaps because of what happened to you, the person that you were supposed to become never was, because of whatever it is that they did to you. And now you got to figure that out. You got to figure out how am I going to get out? How am I going to learn from this? How am I going to be a better person? How am I going to be the person that I was meant to be? You got a lot more work to do.